In Blender, there are 4 shading modes for objects: Shade Smooth, Auto Smooth, and Shade Flat. And often forgotten, a modifier called Weighted Normal. What is the difference? If we go into Edit mode and enable Custom Normals here, we can see in which direction the normals are pointing, and from which direction the normals receive the maximum amount of light and shade accordingly. If I leave these normals as they are split, which is completely normal for Shade Flat. And if I set it to Shade Smooth, they are combined. So they create a kind of bend between the faces. Or rather between the vertices, and as a result, the faces are displayed as bent in the shading. If I now add a bevel as a human, you could say that this here is actually pointing straight up. But this here is still at an angle. That is the disadvantage with Shade Smooth. It does not care how big any face is. It simply always takes the average. If I go to Shade Flat, they are of course split everywhere here. If I set it to Shade Auto Smooth, it works just like a normal Shade Smooth, except that it starts splitting the edges from a certain angle of the face. We only see this here when we apply it. So this is where the Weighted Normal modifier comes into play, for example. I also need to apply it so we can see the result here. And now we see they are pointing more upward than before. And depending on what I set, for example this value, they point perfectly straight up. This way, only this edge is actually displayed as rounded, and the rest is flat, as it should be. That is why the Weighted Normal modifier is the ultimate solution for shading for me. I use it almost always, especially for games. It makes sense. You get nice visual details for few polygons. Unless the objects are really very small, then I also simply use Auto Smooth and save the bevel anyway, if you do not see the edges being displayed as rounded. Thanks for watching.